Good morning, friends. I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you so much for checking this out. It's Thursday morning. So, what does that mean? It's time for some branding ideas. It's time to acknowledge that your brand, when created properly with a great foundation and total authenticity, it can absolutely drive your marketing and affect the way you do business every single day. From how you speak to where you network, where you advertise, to which clients you decide to take on, to which ones you decide to say no to, and how to hire. If you guys are building a team, your brand comes into play there. They have to be able to get in alignment with your brand. So, today, the part that I really wanted to share with you is your competition. It's spring break here for me and my daughter, and so my family and I went out to breakfast. And it's this little local mom and pop shop. They've been in business probably a year. They had two different locations, so they were doing pretty well. And we went to the first location that's closest to us, and it was closed. I thought, well, my heck, that didn't take long. It's only been a year. What's going on? So we tried the next location, and it was sort of empty, and it got fuller. It got more full as we sat there. But the hostess came over afterward and said, "By the way, we know you're regulars. We just wanted to let you know that April 30th is our last day, and then we're being consumed by, or then it'll reopen." She said it so politely. In my head, I was screeching different words, but she said that it'll reopen under this XYZ name, and named one of the largest. Good morning, Tina. Oh, it said when will reopen in May under a large chain, and I couldn't help myself. I'm like, oh no! And it's not like this is even one of my favorite places. It was great. It was fine. It's a great little coffee shop type place, but the idea that these cute little couple is going to go out of business and they're being purchased by a large chain, I'm sure it's a great deal, but it got me thinking, as it always does. Are you prepared for your competition? Are you able to withstand it? Sometimes your competition is Amazon. Sometimes it's Google. Sometimes it's the guy down the street. Sometimes it's the 8 other people sitting at the networking event that do what you do. They're in your industry. How do you compete with that? How do you crush your competition? I'm here to share how I think you could do it really easily, really quickly, and really effectively, while not just crushing your competition, but building a powerful brand and growing your business to the way you want to. Here's the first step. Stop competing. Good morning, Dustin. Nice to see you. The very first step in crushing your competition is to stop thinking that they're competition. Stop acknowledging that and acting like they somehow get to affect your business. It's absolute nonsense. They don't have to. They don't have to exist. When I was 16, some of you have heard this story. When I was 16, I had this t-shirt that I thought was just super snarky. And it said, "I'm not afraid of the competition. I just don't see any." I had no idea how much that would actually affect the way I thought about business and 30 years later in my life. There is no competition when you are super clear about who you are, what you offer, and what you do. When you are super clear about who you serve. When you are super clear about what makes you amazing, what makes you special, there is no competition. Because the people who want the big box stores, the ones who are going to go to Amazon or Google or, for information, the ones who want the big national pancake chain, they're not your competition. You become your biggest competition because you lose sight of what you're doing. You lose sight of what makes you incredible, what makes you special, and what makes you completely outside of comparison of anyone else. So here's how you do this. So the first step is to just let it go, right? Just get out of that. I know a lot of people who are watching, a lot of you are big on mindset, money mindset. Can I do it? Pushing yourself down, sabotage, all those good things. Here's a mindset for you. There is no competition. Get that into your mindset because there's money in that. There's joy in that. There's business in that. So here's the first step. Claim your voice. Acknowledge all of your expertise, all of your experience, all your special little quirks and tweaks and weird things, the way that you do what you do. They will make you stand out beyond anyone else in your industry. And it doesn't matter if I'm speaking right now to 6 people in the same industry. You can each build successful businesses doing what you do best the way you do it and serving the people that you serve. But it starts by acknowledging your own strength, your own voice, your own story. There are things about you, and even if you don't share them in public, there are things about you that make you incredible and that make you uniquely qualified to serve your ideal client. That is to say that there is no one else, not the 6 people sitting next to you in the same industry, not the big box stores, not the big whatevers, not the little mom and pop down the store. No one can do what you do because you are uniquely qualified to serve your ideal client. And the more you acknowledge that and the more you embrace that and the better you build your brand around that, the more successful you will be. There is no competition. Claim your voice, your story. I talked a little bit yesterday about a story. The things that drive you to do what you do, those special little twerks. To give you an idea about this, one little, and it doesn't have to be some huge, amazing thing. It can be something small. There's a LASIK hospital, doctor's office, whatever, here in town. That's one of the biggest in the country. Like, I think they're global. I mean, they are world renowned, whatever. And if you listen to their commercials and listen to the way they talk, they spend this much time talking about their amazing techniques and what they do, and this much time talking about the cookie you get when you come into the office. What sets them apart? Because here's the thing. They may have the best surgeons in the world, and they may have the most cutting-edge technology and the most amazing machinery, right? But for somebody, their ideal client, those words may not mean as much to us as, but you get a cookie. It can be that simple. So that takes me to the next step. Knowing your ideal client. If you truly think that you can serve anyone and everyone, you are mistaken. You will fall subject to the big conglomerates and the big other business, and you will lose to the competition if you try to serve everyone and anyone. You cannot be everything to everyone. You will end up being nothing to anyone. You must be someone amazing to someone specific. That is how you build your brand, and that is how you build a profitable business. That's the second step. Be super clear about who you're serving, right? If you have this, and don't get caught up in the demographics. Think about their pain. Think about, you have your solution, right? You know this, your widget, your service, your product, your whatever, your amazing coaching program, your fabulous web development and design. You know you have something amazing, and you know who it serves best. You know that there is a certain population, that there's a certain person, there's a certain community, your tribe can benefit huge from what you have to offer. You know that's true. So why on earth would you try to offer it to everyone else? Serve the people you're meant to serve. There are 18 different people who are in your industry who cannot serve your people as well as you do. You cannot serve your people. They cannot do what you do for your people. So the more clear you are about what their pain is and what scares the heck out of them and what excites the heck out of them and why they would come to you in the first place, the more clearly you can identify them. You will get to the point, if you take the time, I guarantee this, by the way, guarantee, if you take the time to get super clear about who your ideal client is, you will be able to pick them out from a crowd. You will be able to walk into an event and be like, yep, she's mine. You're mine. He's mine. Because you can tell the way you speak to them, the way they hold themselves, the way they interact with other people, you'll be able to identify them like that. Okay? This takes me to the third step. You have to craft a message that reflects who you are and draws them in. You have to speak their language. You know all the ins and outs and all the legal jargon and all the terminology that's within your industry, right? There are a lot of different codes and shorthand and different terminology that you use once you are in your industry. Your ideal client probably doesn't speak like that. Your ideal client may or may not respond to that terminology and the jargon. Craft a message that attracts them, that calls in those people who are excited to pay you to do what you love to do. This is not something Amazon can compete with. This is not something that any Google search can share in the way that you do. There is no competition. If you can craft a message that says, I understand this pain that you have, and here's how my solution uniquely serves it and resolves it for you. This is how I make your life better. This is how, understanding that they get to have a world without that pain, without that issue, without that concern, without that stress or scare or whatever. They can have a world without that, and the key is to go through you, you win. It's amazing. They win because they don't have to have the pain. And they're not necessarily buying into you, they're investing in themselves. But you have to craft a message that speaks to that. Does that make sense? So I want you to go take 5 minutes. Sometimes it's going to take longer than that to really dive in deep, especially if you've been working. Go through your schedule today and see how many of those clients are $20 the hard way. See how many of them make you twitch. See how many of them are almost what you want to do, but it's okay. It's decent money. Oh, I kind of like doing that, but I really love to do this. When you craft a message that is that clear, when you are super clear about who your ideal client is, it allows you to make more money in your business, and it allows you to revel in the genuine thrill of getting paid to do what you love to do. That is creating your rockstar brand. And that, my friends, is how you crush the competition. Clear? If you are not certain about that, if you think I'm full of it, if you just need to call and say, Amber, you are full of it. I have X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C, and they're all my competition, and they're killing me. We should have a conversation. I would like you to go to yourbrandbydesign.com/duet, DUET. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's figure out exactly what it is, what little tiny thing, maybe it's a huge thing. Maybe you're like, Amber, I've been doing something that I don't love to do for 20 years. Let's get you out of that place. Let's get you to love what you do. Love, love, love every single day. Love the people you work with and get paid to do it. That's business. That's being an entrepreneur. That's being a small business owner. That's business, baby. Let's do more of that. So go to yourbrandbydesign.com/duet. Claim a spot in my calendar that works really well with your schedule, and we'll have a conversation and get you there faster. Good morning, Javine. It's worth it. If you go through your schedule for the next week and it is full of people you absolutely adore who pay you exactly they pay you for the value you provide and the results that you cause, and there's nothing about your life that could be better, congratulations. You're the only one I've met so far. And you're spending your morning on Facebook. So what does that tell me? So please, if you would like to have a conversation about how to build your brand, how to create a rockstar brand that makes you more money and that allows you to revel in the genuine thrill of getting paid to do what you love to do, we should have a conversation. Until then, rock on.